important flashes at the bottom of your screens for you all, and this is from sources that are saying to CNBC-TV18, CNBC Awas, and here it is said that the cabinet is likely to have approved 5-year moratorium for the Vodafone Idea package, that relief AGR package that one was talking about. Other than that, this is approved as an AGR relief package. This was likely to come in as well, so we were seeing some bit of a move that's come in. As of now, this is what we're seeing from sources from CNBC Awas as well. Also, the cabinet has approved freezing of Vodafone Idea's AGR dues of 87,695 crores. So the cabinet has approved freezing of these AGR dues that are there of 87,600 crores approximately. Important for Vodafone Idea over there as well. So as of now, what we know is coming in, that they have likely approved that AGR relief package. They've approved freezing of that AGR dues that are there of 87,695 crores. So big one there coming in for Vodafone Idea. As of now, we're seeing that the stock is holding on to gains of almost 2%, did see a spike as well. And this is likely to have been approved with a 5-year moratorium for Vodafone Idea. So very, very important over there, given that, this has been going on for a while. The payment of 87,695 crores of AGR dues are being rescheduled to FY32 to FY41 is if what I read was right. So that is important as well. We have more details as and when they're coming in. Yes, rescheduled to FY32 to FY41. So yes, that's the time period now the reschedule goes in for the payment of this amount as well. But we have Gurmeet Chadha also, who's joining us on the call right now, who's the managing partner and CIO at Complete Circle. Gurmeet, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining in. This seems like a big relief that's coming for Vodafone Idea. As of now, freezing of that 87,695 crores is coming from the cabinet. What are your first thoughts?
So I think welcome move. I think the government has made it clear that they would not want a duopoly in an important sector like telecom. I think there were also speculations and expectations of any waiver in interest. So overall debt is upwards of 2 lakh crores. The AGR dues are around 87,000 odd crores. So if there is any waiver in terms of interest and penal charges, etc., that would further give relief. So for now, I think it's great news. Also, good news in terms of keeping Vodafone Idea as a going concern, and also in terms of banks and financial institutions who have stakes in terms of loan there. So welcome news for the overall sector. Also, I think some rub-off should happen in the financials which have exposure to Voda.
Okay. Gurmeet, do wait by with us as well. We have HP Ranina, senior advocate at Supreme Court, joining us as well. Good afternoon, Mr. Ranina. This move has come in where the cabinet has obviously frozen the AGR dues right now of 87,600 crores for Vodafone Idea. Now, what are the next steps that come into play? They've said that they're rescheduling it as well. Anything important that we should watch out for from the law front that could maybe have a chance of not going through going forward?
Anyway, thank you for having me. I think important point is that this is a lifeline which the government has thrown to Vodafone. And but for that, Vodafone may have folded up. So I think it's excellent news. It's very important news for the telecom sector, for the consumers at large, for the ecosystem as well. Because as rightly pointed out, you can't have just two players in the field. You need a third player as well. So it's a very good news, and I don't think there are any legal hurdles or legal issues involved. When the government has taken a stand, and the Supreme Court itself had said earlier that the government is free to take whatever it does to save the company, I think there's no question of any legal hurdles now. I think it will simply go through, and I think Vodafone has got the best New Year's gift it could possibly have had.
Absolutely, sir. Best New Year gift right now for Vodafone Idea that's come in. Let's also bring on board Sanjay Asher, senior partner at Crawford, Bayley and Company right now to talk to us about this as well. Mr. Asher, good afternoon. Thank you so much. Your thoughts on this? There is going to be a rescheduling in terms of payments as well that comes in between somewhere FY32 to FY41, and in terms of anything on the legality front that comes in for Vodafone Idea now.
No, first of all, good afternoon. First of all, it's very good news. Excellent news for Vodafone Idea as also for all its stakeholders. And it's a good development which the government has announced in favor of the telecom industry in terms of Vodafone Idea. Now, I don't foresee any legal issues unless they bring about some new surprise by getting some new charges, or they try to get in some other levy. But otherwise the breaking up of the total dues to be paid over a period of time will also get a breather as far as Vodafone Idea is concerned. From a legal perspective, I don't foresee any issues as such now. So let's see, in case there is another PIL which unnecessarily upsets the apple cart, in terms of as to why Vodafone Idea has been given such a relief, although there is already a Supreme Court ruling and which directs the government to look into it and bring about some relief for the telecom industry and for Vodafone.
Sir, is there any case that this frozen AGR dues they mentioned that will be reassessed by the Department of Telecommunication based on audit reports? Is that anything to worry about? How does that work out? Every year is what they're going to be checking this?
Yes, they will check it, because it can't be that they will accept whatever Vodafone Idea says. Obviously, the numbers have to be signed off by the department before there is a demand or before they crystallize as to what exact amount is due from Vodafone Idea. So in my view, yes, there would be some sort of an audit which would be carried out by the department before freezing or before asking Vodafone Idea to pay the exact amount over a period of time.
Okay, let me also bring on board Prashant Nair as well. And we also have Vaibhav Kakkar joining us. Prashant, but a big relief that's coming, though the stock jumped up and now it's come down again. So I'm trying to figure out what's happening.
No, I think it was just, as of yesterday's close, it had Vodafone Idea had a market cap of 1,30,000 crores, right? I mean, so it's not a, so I think, and this was in that sense expected that something will come. It moved up from 8 rupees to 12 rupees. So, in anticipation of exactly this. So sometimes this is what happens. And now, exact details will be important. So just to read from some of what we are picking up, right? And this is what the government seems to be saying as part of and why they've done this. The telecom sector, I'm just sort of reading from what we have. The telecom sector is deemed critical for economic growth, employment, digital India. The government wants multiple players to ensure competition, making Vodafone India's survival strategically important. So that's the starting point. I mean, in that detail that we have. They lay out Supreme Court's position, saying that the court had said that there's no legal bar on reconsidering the AGR issue. And then, of course, they come to the decision to freeze the AGR dues. And here, they're saying essentially that the cabinet is freezing the AGR dues at 87,695 crores as of 31st of December 2025. Payment of frozen AGR amount will be rescheduled from FY32 to FY41. That is what the detail here says. And they also say that AGR dues frozen as of 31st December 2025 will be reassessed by the DOT based on XYZ. I mean, so they sort of go on with some more things. But if I can just, Vaibhav Kakkar is also with us. Vaibhav, just a quick word. Payment of the frozen AGR amount will be rescheduled from FY31-32 to FY40-41. I mean, just your thoughts on this.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. No, I think this is overall a great move by the government. This particular freezing, I think what they mean is that they will now apportion and amortize the dues that are payable over a 9-year financial cycle. And this certainly would have taken into account the revenue and the expected sort of bottom line that would play up for Vodafone on operating numbers to be able to assess as to how these payments can be made. I think just on a slightly more broader point of view, the foundational basis for this relief was already laid down by the Supreme Court in its order, where it had acknowledged two very unique data points. I think the fact that, if Vodafone does not get a relief package in what is world's most populated country and one of the largest countries and consumers of data, would be left with a duopoly of sorts. So I think that was a very important economic consideration. And the second fact
Yeah.
This is a uniquely placed company with 49% equity owned by the government itself.
So they have, that's the thing, the government has about 60,000 crores of market cap to defend in that sense, right?
Absolutely.
Just on this point, Sanjay, Ashar, if I can come to you, the payment of this amount, which is 87,695 crores, the language is the payment of this amount is being rescheduled over FY31-32 to FY40-41. Sanjay, you want to just parse through this language for us? How would you read this?
It appears that from the language that 87,000 odd amount will be broken up into equal parts from FY31 until 40-41. So in other words, if it is a period of 10 years or so, it will be broken up into 10 equal parts. So 8,700 odd crores every year. Which would effectively mean if you see in a commercial or a financial way that the present value of that 87,000 odd crores today would have got reduced to almost just 10% of the total due. So instead of saying that, look, I'm giving you a waiver of 90%, it's an indirect way of giving you this particular relief.
Basically, the payment starts in FY31 and goes on till FY41.
Correct. So they get a period of 15 years, until, 10
today.
years plus another 5 years from today, yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And the other point, which is that the dues which are frozen as of 31st December 25 will be reassessed by the DOT based on, it says, deduction verification guidelines, which are of 2020. Audit reports. A government-appointed committee will decide the outcome, which will be binding on both parties. They've laid out some conditions based on which DOT can then reassess the dues. Sanjay.
Yes, so in case it
so this 87,000 crores also is not fixed. I mean, the DOT is free to, in this moratorium period, free to reassess this.
Yes, so 87,695 could be 88,000 or could be 86,000. In other words, after the government looks at it in the sense that scrutinizes it, checks it and audits it, whatever number comes out, that would be the frozen number. So in other words, it could be more than 87,695 crores on scrutiny by the department.
Right. Those numbers, I'm assuming, Sanjay, was only indicative, right? 86 or 88. I mean, it could be, depending on their assessment, could be wildly different.
Less.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It could be more or it could be less as well.
It could be more or it could be less. So they also say that there is no relief for certain years. So AGR dues for FY18 FY19 were already finalized by the Supreme Court order, which is dated September of 2020. Those will remain unchanged. Those will have to be paid between FY26 to FY31. But those are for 2 years, 18 and 19, FY18 and FY19.
Yeah. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at the stock, by the way, down 7%. And, exactly that point I was making in the morning, that there's a lot of excitement about what could the package mean, et cetera, But even at, 12 rupees, actually at 10 rupees, if you put in the numbers and take the best case scenario, and I have the sheet somewhere, it's kind of hard to imagine what can happen from a stock price perspective. Great news. The company, of course, is saved in that sense, and more competition, and we need more players, and it's important in that sense. But from a market perspective, it's a different ballgame altogether. Gurmeet, you've been listening into some of the conversation. You want to come in? Any other points?
I think, Prashant, for the immediate basis, I think it's more in terms of keeping it as a going concern. I think what it also does over a period of time allows it more options on fundraise. We saw some of the NBFCs being interested in December on some of the debt issuances. I think it was Tata Capital, if my memory is right. I think the focus should be more in terms of keeping it as a going concern. As an equity shareholder, in my view, because they are, the interest coverage ratio is so low, and their operational performance has been very, very weak. If you see, they've lost almost 50% of the subscriber post-merger. I think at some point of time there could be some equity dilution also. It's a little speculative right now. So I think for now it's more good news for the lenders and in terms of the overall ecosystem and less in terms of the stock price. That's my personal view.
Any thoughts on the other one, Indus Tower? If you can pull that up, Gurmeet, since we're on stocks. Any thoughts on Indus?
Yeah, I think so. Gets positive correlation, Prashant. But as you rightly said, a lot of the news in terms of this was in the price because there was expectation, and as one of the fellow panelists said, the foundation was laid by the Supreme Court order. I think we'll have to also see how will somebody like a Bharti react to it, because they also, I think, has about 40,000 crore AGR dues. But obviously, Bharti is now generating cash flows of 30,000-40,000 crores. So everything is good there. But as I said, a lot of it is in the price. But overall, as I said, good news for the ecosystem, and especially for lenders. And in terms of more fundraising options now, I think the big trigger would, once you get a good strategic investor in terms of running Vodafone, I think you need a stronger hand other than government in terms of getting operationally, back on track.
Yeah. Vaibhav Kakkar is also with us. Look at the stock down 10% now. Vaibhav, your thoughts on, you've been listening into Sanjay, Gurmeet, sort of first reaction on how the market is taking it. I don't know if you track what, price, they say, encompasses a lot of things. But in this case, it may be a little different, right? Because there's a large amount of outstanding debt, and people will be working out and putting in the numbers to see what's the final equity value is going to be. But your thoughts, Vaibhav?
Yeah. No, I don't think one should really get overly concerned with the immediate fluctuation and volatility in the stock price. There was obviously a lot of speculation in the market of the extent of relief package that would be eventually offered to Vodafone Idea. I think it is in that backdrop that you're seeing the wild swings in the market at the moment. I think overall, once everybody appreciates the finer detailing around it. For instance, you asked some very valid questions around, how is this 88,000 crores going to get paid off? Is this going to be a portion over a certain period, or is this all pushed to 2041? It seems that it will all get apportioned and amortized and paid over a 9-year cycle. So I think some of those detailings, when they're properly understood, I feel that the market will realize that government is doing its best to make sure that Vodafone Idea remains a relevant player. This is especially after the other two equity owners have taken a clear position that they will not be able to fund any further equity into the company. So I think in this backdrop, this is a very, very significant move. This also shows that the government is being nimble on its feet. I think in the backdrop of the experience in the aviation sector over the last few weeks, it's become even far more important that you cannot allow market competition to get compromised. So I think overall great. But of course, this itself is a large amount of liability. Let's not forget that. And as another gentleman brought out, Mr. Gurmeet, that some of these dues, just in the context of the operating surplus that the company is spurting out, will itself be a difficult sort of play. And therefore, it's imperative that the management and the company now focuses on growth. And what also remains to be seen, and as a lawyer, I need to call that out, that needs to, if the other competition goes to the court asking for similar benefit and reliefs, and making a case out that there is no reason to create that kind of a distinction in terms of this kind of relief package. So one needs to see how that sort of nuance also plays out. So I believe that this is not the final word on the issue. It's likely to see.
I think we lost the line there with Vaibhav suddenly. Okay, Vaibhav, sorry, we lost you there briefly. Go on, please finish that point. Okay, I don't think we can hear him. Vinny, on that point that you were asking about the audit. The
audit reports, yeah.
Audit. So basically what they're saying is that from what we can understand, and we confirmed with Sanjay as well, that for the 5-year, the moratorium period, the DOT can do an audit based on some guidelines, One is the Supreme Court.
But is it like a normal audit that we have every year, and do they have that ability then to change that amount every year or anything, or once it's fixed?
It's not 1 year. It's not every year. This is an audit which they can audit the demand, the claim based on two factors which has been highlighted in the document, and that's it. I mean, the number, as Sanjay said, can move up, can move down. That's it. I mean, so obviously, I mean, if you are Vodafone Idea, would expect that the number will move down. Because it's the government which is now using the Supreme Court directive that the Supreme Court, what did the Supreme Court say? They said that the government is free to change and they can provide relief if so wanted. They provided this relief. And if you're Vodafone Idea, you would imagine that, they'd provide more relief. That number actually moves down from here whenever that audit happens, if that audit happens. So it's not an annual thing. It's like a one-time thing if the government or the DOT decides to do so. In that sense, that amount is the amount on which the audit will be done is the due as of 31st December 2025, which is that near 88,000 odd crores or so in terms of the demand. 10% lower, by the way. That's been the big story, I guess, bang in the middle of the day with the relief coming in for Vodafone Idea. Gurmeet, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this. Do you think, and this is slightly tangential, Gurmeet, are you there? Okay, Sanjay, are you there?
I'm there.
I just had a slightly off, maybe a little tangential in terms of question. I was wondering, right, this entire Indigo, in that sense, fiasco which took place early December, I mean, kind of shone the spotlight on having fewer players or one or two players or with a duopoly kind of position in any sector. And airlines is very important. Telecom is equally important. You think, I mean, there's some parallels we can draw. I'm not sure if this influenced the government's decision in any which way, but, basically quicken the process of making sure that Vodafone Idea is around and doing what it takes to make sure that we have a viable third player. Any thoughts, Sanjay?
No, I agree with that. There has to be a third player because only with Indigo and Air India, with just two players, it can't be that an important, in that sense, utility service, transport, can function or should be allowed to function. So there has to be a third player, and two, somebody who is becoming like a giant, so to say, should be kept in check in that sense to see whether everything from a regulatory perspective is being properly followed or not. I'm not saying that Indigo did not follow that. I'm not suggesting for a moment that. But it's question of the principle that just to see that everybody is following the rules of the game, and at the same time, a third player should also be invited or should be there in that particular business.
Sure, Sanjay. Point taken there. Prashant, you were talking about the stock already pricing in as well, right? Last 4 months as well as December so far, the stock has closed on the positive side. And obviously today also so far it is up 9%. So I think already priced in and now down 10% in the trading session as of now. Vodafone Idea.
No, absolutely. And I think, what we'll do is we'll maybe take a quick commercial break here. I mean, 10% lower on Vodafone. I think Indus Tower, which has also done well, by the way, not the frenzied move one way or the other, but it's a more settled move, but it's on the way down, about 1% lower, 417 on Indus Tower as well. It's a big story hitting us back in the middle of the afternoon, as I said. Sanjay, thanks for staying with us and running and talking us through some of the detail in this. There will be a cabinet briefing, I'm assuming, and we will cut to it as and when that happens. Gurmeet, thank you very much. If you're there, Vaibhav, thank you for joining us as well. It's, thanks for staying with us on over the last half hour on the Vodafone Idea programming. We'll take a quick commercial break here. Closing bell will pick up on the programming on the other side. Stay with us.